thanks for joining me in this class. I'm going to take you through a flow which is just going to feel nice and open, nothing too strenuous, just stretching out the whole body. So we're going to begin at the front of the mat in Malasana, low yogic squat. So placing the feet just wider than hip distance apart, drawing your knees out to the side and just place your hands together in front of the chest. Connecting the elbows to the inner thighs, raising the palms in towards each other. And drawing the sit bones down towards the mat. Reaching the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. Opening through the collarbones. And just feeling a stretch through the abductors. And just taking a moment to tune into the breath. If you're familiar with the Jai breathing breath with sound, just begin to engage this. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, just work on breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And just creating a slow and steady pace with the breath. Allowing the breath to calm down the body and calm down the mind. Just a couple more breaths here. Continuing to open out through the inner thigh. And opening out through the head. And then just slowly release the sit bones down towards the mat. I'm going to extend the right leg out and draw the left foot towards the inner thigh. So coming into a wide leg Janashasana. As you breathe in, take the arms up towards the ceiling. And as you breathe out, extend your right hand towards the right foot and maybe taking the left hand with it. If not, just keeping the left hand in mid-air and just working on creating space through the left side of the body. Just creating more of an openness through the left hip by drawing the knee towards the mat. With every in-breath, finding space. And with every exhale, just sinking down into that space. Now you're going to cartwheel the left hand towards the base of the spine. Take the right hand towards the outside of the thigh, gently coming in to a twist. So just almost feeling your rib cage raveling around your spine. Keeping your collarbones open. Chin parallel with the mat. Growing nice and tall. Just slowly coming back towards the center. Place the left hand behind you. Roll over onto the shin, lift the hips and take the right hand behind. Opening out through the chest. Keep drawing the hips forward. Pressing into the left hand. And then as you exhale, slowly release the hips down towards the mat. Draw the right foot in. So coming into Skandasana, easy seated pose, and trying to create space between both feet. So taking them further away from each other. And then you're going to breathe in to find length. And as you breathe out, begin to fold from the hips, just taking your hands down towards the mat. So feeling a stretch through the outer hip. And maybe dropping the head. And if you're living in a more open body, maybe even walking your hands further out in front. And just opening up the back body as well as the head. And allow the head to get heavy. And slowly walk the hands back. Take the knees behind and come into an all fours position. And just slowly lower the chest down towards the mat. Inhale, coming into a gentle upward facing dog. And then exhale as you find yourself in child's pose, taking the sit bones towards the heel. You're going to tuck your toes under. Coming into broken toe pose, begin to walk your hands back. And sitting on your heels. And just taking a moment here as we open out through the feet. Inhaling, reaching hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale, release the right hand down towards the mat. Left arm comes overhead. Stretch through the side body. And inhaling, reaching hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale, release the left hand onto the mat. Right arm comes overhead. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, left hand comes towards the right knee. Right hand comes behind as we come into a gentle twist. And just gazing over the right shoulder. Inhale, come back towards the center. Exhale, right hand, left knee. Left hand behind. Once again, twisting here. Finding length, finding space. And then releasing further into that space. Inhale, reach hands up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, release them down onto the mat. Begin to take the heels towards the mat as you straighten the legs, coming into downward facing dog. And just doing whatever you feel is right here. Maybe pedaling through the feet. Bending the knees, sending the chest towards the thigh. And just rocking through the hips. So just listening into your body. Now as you breathe in, take the right foot up towards the ceiling. Take the knee towards the right elbow. And then step the foot to the outside of the hands. Drop down onto the back knee. Coming into lizard. So I'm going to give you a couple of options here. Option one is just staying here to work on creating space through the hips. If you want a deeper intensity, take the right hand to the outside of the right foot, taking the arm underneath the knee. Maybe you want to take the back knee off the mat. And just creating more strength through the thighs. So just depending on what feels right for you. You might even want to try taking a bind by taking the right hand towards the sacrum and then allowing the left hand to join it. So just remembering to take whichever option works for you. And this is your own practice. Keeping length through the back of the neck. Just another couple of breaths. And then slowly releasing the hands towards the inside of the foot. Pop the left foot to the outside of the left hand, sink the sit bones down towards the mat, coming into Vipassana once again. Elbows to the insides of the knees. Lifting out through the chest. Extend the right hand forward. Left hand comes up towards the ceiling. Opening through the chest. And if you feel like you've got the openness through the shoulders, maybe coming into a bind here. Clasping your hands together. Peeling the left shoulder back, spiraling the heart up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, release the hands down towards the mat. Now lengthen the left hand out in front. Right hand comes up towards the ceiling, opening through the chest. And again, if you've got the space in your body, maybe trying to take that bind. Drawing the right shoulder away from the ear. Pivoting the heart up towards the ceiling. And keep engaging through your abductors to draw the right knee out to the side. And then gaze down towards the mat, slowly release the hand. And now from here, slowly roll the sit bones down towards the mat. This time extending the left foot out to the side. Right foot comes in towards the inner thigh. Reach hands up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, reach the left hand towards the foot, taking your right hand with it. Trying not to bump into the hydrangeas here. And just again spiraling the chest up towards the ceiling. Feeling that lovely stretch through the side body, as well as an openness through the hips. And just with every breath finding space. And then sinking into that space. And then take the right hand towards the base of the spine. Left hand to the outside of the thigh twist round. Release back to the center. Place the right hand down onto the mat, roll over onto the shin, hips lift up, left hand comes up towards the ceiling. Just offering your heart forward, creating openness through the front of the body as you contract through the back body. And then on an exhale, slowly release the hips down towards the mat. Bring your left foot in, coming into Skandasana, and again, just trying to create space between both feet, so drawing the feet away from each other. Inhale, create length through the spine. And then as you exhale, begin to fold from the hips, releasing the hands down towards the mat. Again, just finding space through the outer hips. Maybe walking your hands forward. Releasing the head farther towards the mat. Slowly walk the hands back. And then come into an all fours position. This time just doing a little cat-cow, so coming into the back bend as you drop the belly down towards the mat, tailbone comes up towards the ceiling and lift the gaze. Exhale, press into the hands, arch through the back end, so cat, creating that lovely C shape through the spine. Make your way into a neutral spine. Big toes come together, sit bones come towards the heels into child's pose. And just a couple breaths there. Inhale. You're going to tuck the toes under. Begin to walk the hands back and sit on the heels. This time we're going to lift the hips so the hips are directly above the knees. Take the arms to shoulder height. Spin over towards the right side. Right hand comes onto the heel. Left hand comes up towards the ceiling as you draw the hips forward. Inhaling, coming back to the center. Come to the center there, chest facing forward, then over towards the left side. Hands onto the heel. Right hand comes all the way up towards the ceiling, drawing the hips forward once again. Open through the chest. Feeling the back body contract. Hamstrings engaged. Quadriceps lengthen. Inhaling, arms to shoulder height. Come back to the center. And then take your hands to the lower back with the fingertips facing up towards the ceiling. Draw the elbows in towards each other, coming into camel. So begin to press the hips forward so the hips are directly above the knees. If it's in your reach, take the hands towards the heels. Continue to draw the hips forward. Continue to engage through the hamstrings to create length through the quadriceps. Opening through the heart. And then one by one, place the hands onto the thighs. Slowly release the sit bones towards the heels and just take the tops of the feet down onto the mat. Closing your eyes just to allow your spine to neutralize there. One inhale. And an exhale. Now place the hands forward, coming into an all fours position. Tuck the toes under, straighten the legs, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot comes up towards the ceiling. Knee comes towards the elbow, step the foot to the outside of the hand. Drop down onto the back knee, preparing for lizard. So just remembering to take whichever option works for you. Staying here is option one. Or if you feel like you want a deeper intensity, taking the hand to the outside of the foot. Maybe tucking the toes under and lifting the back knee off the mat, burning up through the quadricep. And maybe taking the bites. So just working on creating space through the hip. And maybe also strengthening through the back leg. And just playing with your balance. Remembering to focus the mind. And then just release the hands down onto the mat, taking the left hand to the inside of the left foot. Step the right foot to the outside of the right hand, sink down into the Balasana once again, elbows towards the inside of the thigh. Then release the hands onto the mat, straighten the legs, walk the feet in towards each other, Uttanasana, forward fold. We're going to step back with the left foot. Lower the knee all the way down onto the mat. Ardha Hanumanasana, half monkey, begin to straighten the right leg, flexing the feet. And thinking about really drawing the right heel towards the left knee and the left knee in towards the right heel to create this intensity through the hamstring. And just surrendering your chest towards the thigh. Maybe walking your hands slightly further forward. Trying to keep hugging your outer hip bones inwards, squaring off through the hips. One more breath in. And then place the foot down onto the mat. Take the left hand slightly further out to the side. Right hand up towards the ceiling. And then open through the chest as you take the right hand behind. Either staying here or maybe taking hold of the pinky toe edge of the left foot. Drawing the heel closer towards the glutes. Still peeling the right shoulder back. Making sure that right knee stays facing forward. And then exhale to slowly release the foot down onto the mat. Tuck the back toes under, lift the knee off the mat, extend the right hand up towards the ceiling. Twisted runner's lunge. Make sure you're working through the back thigh, drawing the heel away from you, pulling up into the kneecap. Now we're going to roll over onto the outside of both feet, drop the hips down towards the mat, take the right hand behind as we come into Revert, Revolve, Skandasana. Inhaling, coming back towards the center, hands either side of the feet. Step back into plank. And lower your knees down onto the mat. Inhaling, right hand comes all the way up towards the ceiling. Exhale as you thread the hand through the space between the left hand and left knee, releasing the ear down onto the mat. Either staying here or taking the left hand in front. Maybe taking the left foot behind, keeping toes tucked under and staying in the ball of the foot. And just a couple of breaths here and thread the needle. Again, working on opening through the space in the heart. If your hand was forward, release it back down onto the mat, release the knee down. Press into the left hand, left knee, taking the right hand all the way up towards the ceiling. You're going to rotate onto the left knee and take the right hand behind. Inhaling, coming all the way up into gate pose, release the right hand onto the right knee, leg and take the left arm overhead. Making sure the outside of the foot is parallel with the outside of the mat. And then come back to the center. Left hand comes down onto the mat. The right arm comes overhead, stretching through the side body. Release the hand down onto the mat, swivel on the left knee, step back into plank. Shift the weight forward and lower your chest all the way down onto the mat. Coming into a low cobra, so taking the elbows in towards the chest, press into the hands, gently lift the chin. Exhale to release back down onto the mat. Press into the hands and knees, back into child's pose. And then inhaling into all fours. Tuck the toes under, straighten the legs, downward facing dog. Now we're going to send the left foot all the way up towards the ceiling. Draw the knee in towards the chest. Step the foot through between the hands, drop the back foot down onto the mat to a 45-degree angle. Lift up into Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Palms spinning inwards. We're going to come into a little back bend here, so draw your hips forward and take the chest back. Maybe taking your gaze behind. Keeping the biceps in line with the ears. And then taking the gaze back forward. Arms come to shoulder height. And we're going to either come into reverse prayer or just taking the hands to opposite elbows. So just whatever in your practice. We're going to just work on opening through the chest. So begin to straighten the left leg. Inhale to expand through the chest. And as you exhale, begin to take the chest towards the thigh. Nose towards the knee. Now really think about drawing your elbows away. Keep squaring off through the hips. Left hip back, right hip forward. Finding length through the backs of the legs. One more breath in. And then exhaling. Now release the hands down onto the mat. Swivel on the ball of the back foot. Hop the right foot in to meet the left as you come into Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhaling, reaching the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Exhale, release the right hand down onto the thigh. Left arm comes overhead. Keeping your hip bones facing forward. Inhale, reach arms overhead. Exhale, left hand comes towards the side of the body, right arm comes overhead. Inhaling back to the center. Exhale, take the thumbs down the center line as you come into a forward fold. Step the right foot back and draw the knee down onto the mat. Ardha Hanumanasa, begin to straighten the left leg. Squaring off through your hips. Stretching through the hamstring. Continuously finding length and finding space. And then sinking into that space. And really staying active through this left leg. Flexing the foot. Digging the heel in towards your mat. Activating through the hamstring. So as well as opening out through the hamstring, we're also contracting through. Now slowly take the foot down onto the mat. Take the right hand out to the sides. Left hand comes all the way up towards the ceiling as we open through the chest and take the hand behind. Either staying here, just working on creating the space through the chest, or maybe taking the right heel towards the buttock, wrapping the hand around the pinky toe edge of the foot. Spiraling the chest up towards the ceiling. Keep drawing the right shoulder away from the ear. And then just without pinging the foot, slowly release it down onto the mat, tucking the toes under. Lift the knee off the mat as you take the right hand all the way up towards the ceiling. Coming into a twisted runner's lunge. Now revolve Skandasana, pivoting onto the outer edge of both feet, sinking the hips down towards the mat. Left hand comes behind. Using your right hand to support you. And then swiveling all 10 toes so they're facing forward. Left hand comes to the outside of the foot. Step back into plank. And then drop the knees down onto the mat. Inhaling, left hand comes all the way up towards the ceiling. Exhale, thread the hand through the space between the right hand and the right knee. Ear comes down onto the mat. Either staying here or maybe finding more space by taking the right hand forward and right leg back. Keeping the ball of the foot down onto the mat. Peeling up into the thigh. And just a couple breaths here. And this is really great for anyone who has any issues through the middle and upper back. So just working on creating space through the thoracic spine. And then release the right hand onto the mat. Release the right knee down, press into the hand and knee. Take the left hand all the way up towards the ceiling. Now rotate onto the knee. Take the left foot behind. And then inhaling to the left to the center. Exhale, slide the left hand down the leg, take the right arm overhead. And then inhale, lift to the center. Exhale, right hand onto the mat, left arm overhead, taking the bicep towards the ear. And release the hand onto the mat. Swivel onto the ball of the foot. step back into plank. Take the chest forward and lower all the way down onto the mat, using your knees if you need to. Coming into Sphinx Pose now, so taking the forearms onto the mat. As you inhale, lift the chest. Opening through the collarbones, keeping shoulders away from the ears. Now if you want to create more space through the body, take the hands slightly so that they're diagonally, taking them to the corners of the mat. Then press into the hands straight and the arms coming in to seal. Keeping shoulders away from the ears and pressing into the tips of all 10 toes. Pulling up into the thighs. And then as you exhale, slowly release down. Take the hands beside the rib cage, press into the hands and knees, make your way into Child's Pose Balasana. Inhaling into all fours. Tuck the toes under, straighten the legs, downward facing dog. Right foot lifts up towards the ceiling. Knee comes in towards the chest, step the foot through between the hands, drop the back foot down onto the mat. Inhaling for your Virabhadrasana, one, warrior one. So creating a 90-degree angle in the front knee. Squaring off through the hips. And trying to really draw your thigh bones in towards each other to create this contraction through the inner thighs. Maybe coming into a slight back bend. Sinking further down into the front knee. And take the gaze back forward. Take the arms to shoulder height. Either coming into reverse prayer or just taking the hands to opposite elbows. Opening through the shoulders, peeling the elbows back. And then press into the front foot as you begin to straighten the legs, keeping those hips square. Keep pulling the elbows back. Inhale to lift through the chest. Exhale to surrender the chest towards the thigh. Take the nose towards the knee. And again, just continuing to peel the elbows back. Continuing to draw the right hip back, left hip forward. And try not to lock out any joints. Create a softness through the knee. One more breath in, finding space. And then an exhale, just taking the chest closer towards the thigh. And release the hands down onto the mat, framing the front foot, swivel on the ball of the back foot. And then hop forward, coming into Uttanasana. Inhale, uncurling the spine. Rising the arms all the way overhead, palms come together. Exhale, fold from the hips once again. Hands come down onto the mat. Step back into plank. Lower the knees down onto the mat. Coming into extended puppy pose now. So we're going to keep the hips directly above the knees and walk the hands out in front. And if you've got the space, take the forehead down onto the mat. Opening through the armpit. And just surrendering the heart towards the mat. Just taking a few breaths here, maybe even closing off your eyes. Maybe coming on to the tips of the fingers, if you've got the space in your body to do so. And then just walk the hands back. And rest the tops of the feet onto the mat. Take the sit bones towards the heels. Slowly uncurl the spine. So you're coming to sit on your heels at the back of the mat, keeping the eyes closed. Hands rested on the thighs. Sitting up nice and tall. Just neutralizing through the spine. Finishing off the practice by taking one breath in. And then a breath out. On your next breath in, arms come overhead, palms come together. Thumbs come to the crown of the head. eyebrows to the third eye. And then to the heart center. Just bow your head. Om Shanti. So thank you all so much for choosing to flow with me. I hope you enjoyed that class and I hope you feel nice and open. And I will see you next time.